Hey, this is Matthew. Today I'm talking about a topic that gets me a bit frustrated at times and a bit puzzled, which is self-esteem. I hear people talking about it and I just don't get it. And in this video I'm going to talk about my opinion of it and why I think you don't really need it at all. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew and my goal is to spark you to think differently so you can create new possibilities for yourself in your life. Self-esteem. I was at an event a few weeks ago and this whole topic of self-esteem came up, and it was a big topic. People seemed to really want to get more self-esteem, or they wanted to be proud of how much self-esteem they had, or something like that. And this really struck me because I don't relate to self-esteem like this at all. Completely not at all. In my view, we don't need self-esteem at all because self-esteem, it's based on this assumption that we have a self that we need to have self-esteem about. It's like why I am so against mantras and so against self-affirmation. I don't need to affirm myself. If I'm using my Zen terminology, I'd say there is no self to be proud of, to self-affirm. We can invent one or have a story of one for a time, which is what I do when I'm talking about myself or I'm talking about myself in the world, because that's the way language works. But if I don't need to talk about myself, I can drop this whole thing that I have a self. And if I drop the whole thing I have a self, then doing affirmations about how great myself is, oh, I love myself and I think I'm great or whatever, why? It just serves no value because I am here, it is what it is, and that's that. And there is, in my experience, a love that comes not for myself, but just for everything, including myself, which arises naturally. And this encompasses everything. And it's not just me and me loving myself. It's just there. And I don't have to fight for it. I don't have to work for self-esteem. I don't have to build up my image of myself so I feel good about things or I feel empowered to be the best I can be or something. It's really a case of, here I am. I'm a human doing the best I can in this life. And what I think of myself, it doesn't really cross my mind. I just do not have an experience on a regular basis of reflecting about what I think of myself. It just doesn't come up. And sometimes I think, oh, I did a good job with that or something, but that's about it. And this is kind of what I think people talk about when they're talking about self-esteem, is that a lot of people have a voice in their head that's quite negative towards them, and it says lots of things about them that they believe. And this is again not something that I have too much experience with, because my voice in my head doesn't really say much at all about me, and it doesn't really say much about anything really, unless I'm asked, or unless I ask it for some input or some opinion on something. And like now, it's well and truly happy to provide lots of opinions, but I think it's this thing about not holding opinions strongly and not holding anything too strong. So here I am, I've got my opinion, and my opinion should be that I should function a particular way, and that while I'm recording this, everything should go right. And right now, one of my dogs is here and he's making noise and being problematic, and I can make that a story, or I could just say hi to him. So this is Cal, and he is one of my dogs, and Cal is just doing what he's doing. He's being the best he can be, and Cal doesn't need to worry about self-esteem, and I don't need to worry about self-esteem. We're both here together doing the best that we can. And if self-esteem is something that bothers you and something you think about, my real recommendation would be that it's to spend some time in nature. When I spend time in nature, I realize that what I think of myself doesn't matter. The trees are just the trees, the earth is the earth, the birds are the birds, and I am myself. And I don't need to add anything to be perfect just the way I am right now. And I think that's what brings this acceptance and this love of myself and of everyone, including my great little puppy Cal and my other dogs. So with that, have a great week ahead. If you'd like to hear more from me, you can subscribe to my email newsletter. There's a link below. And until next time, the journey continues.